What's up, guys? It is Carly here bringing you your weekly dose of horror, and sorry if you can hear my washer in the background. I literally always do that, make the mistake of putting clothes in and then thinking like I'm gonna record a video and then I realize there's noise, but so sorry if you can hear the banging. But anyway, I am back, and today once again I'm gonna be talking about another Alien movie, and that is Alien 3 from 1992. Now, yeah, after this I only have Alien 4 actually, because I don't even own anything after that, so we will be finished with the Alien movie soon here, but yeah, Alien 3, the plot of Alien 3 is, it's kind of similar to how part 2 begins, where you once again have Ripley, and she's been asleep, and she lands on this sort of wasteland area with all these prisoners, former inmates, and as well as some guards, and so she lands here. It's like I said, it's like a bleak wasteland, as said on the back cover here, and you know, she finds out that, spoiler alert, that the girl, what's her name, Newt from part 2 has died, and as well as the other dude that they were with, they kind of like crash land onto this planet, so two of them don't make it, but Ripley once again survives, and once again she is suspicious of aliens being around, so her and these prison inmates are now going to try to take down the aliens, and they don't really have the same heavy machinery or equipment or weapons or anything like that that they did in part 2, so it's a little more of a challenge. So, but yeah, that's kind of like the idea here. For me, these movies almost start to feel a little repetitive at this point. Like I said, the beginning is kind of similar to the beginning of part 2, where she wakes up in this area and is kind of confused as to where she is and all that, and there's a new group of people, and then once again they're trying to track down the aliens and defeat them all. So same basic story, but at the same time they do give you something a little different, with it being the concept of it's all these male prison inmates that she is paired with, and I kind of like the idea. I also kind of like the setting. I think it's you know, pretty interesting setting, and I do like the characters as well in this movie. I'm a little more interested in them than I am with part 2 and even kind of part 1 at this point. I said in my previous review that I remember liking part 3 a little better than part 2, and I would still agree with that. I feel like it's a little, you know, less of a movie. It definitely feels like a part 3 in a franchise where, like I said, it kind of gets a little repetitive, as a lot of franchises tend to do, especially back then, and it's not as over the top with the action sequences or anything like that, which is a plus for me, because, like I said, part 2 is very, very hype on the action stuff, and that's just not really for me. This one still has that. Like I said, it's not like part 1 where that was just straight up horror. This one is still kind of more in your face with stuff, but it's just it's more toned down, I would say. It feels a little similar to part 2 in tone, but the tone is just down a little bit more in this one. Like I said, it just feels like a part 3, like just a tad bit lesser of a film, not as many, I would say, special effects or anything going on, but the alien still looks great. I think it's still very creepy and effective. You also get, of course, Ripley. I always just think that she's a great character. Maybe not overly as much more development in this movie as you get from leaping into part 2 from part 1, but she's still a very good, iconic character, very strong female lead, and I think once again she does a solid job of living up to that. So overall, I think it's a good movie. I think I do like it better than part 2, but I don't think it's necessarily a better made quality film compared to part 2 or even part 1. I think it's kind of just a little bit basic compared to those two. It doesn't add a whole lot of new stuff to it, and you know, I kind of like the way this one ends as well, but then of course you get part 4 and things kind of change up from there, but we'll get into that when we get into it. But for now, part 3, I give this an 8 out of 10, which I believe I gave Alien an 8 out of 10 as well. I wouldn't say they necessarily match up, but I feel like my enjoyment is a little bit similar on them, and it's just kind of hard to rate these movies because my enjoyment versus how well made they are is kind of iffy, because I'm just not a huge fan of the Alien franchise in itself. But 8 out of 10 for Alien 3, I think that's a fair rating for the film. I know some people are kind of lukewarm on it or don't really care for it, but I like it. I like the setting, I like the characters, and quite frankly, I would probably go back to this one more than Aliens. So, like I said, 8 out of 10. Thank you guys once again for joining me for this weekly dose of horror. I'm sorry this is all I've been really uploading. I kind of had a rocky start to the new year, but I plan on, you know, trying to change things up a little bit on my channel eventually. It's not just going to be these videos every single week and that be it. I will add some more stuff eventually, just trying to get a better schedule and all that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next week.